You love
Yeah,
it?
I love it. We send it out to simultaneously now. We are
Yeah.
broadcasting to my Facebook page, my professional Facebook page, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. Hey, good morning, everybody. You are hanging with Dr. Cooper live and in the Hive with Lisa Taylor. What's happening, Lisa? How you doing?
Hi, it's so great to be here. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
And
you.
just a few housekeeping notes, everybody. I'm back. This is Coop, hanging with Dr. Cooper. Yeah, I got hit in the head by a razor. Don't worry about it. Me and my razor, shaving my head. Me and the razor had a fight, Lisa. So I got cut and I lost. But I'm
Uh-oh, it
healing. I'm on
happens.
the mend now. So we have a really exciting show today for you all. And again, in deference to our guest, Lisa, I'm coming on today at 11:30. Well, we're a little late. 11:41 EST because Lisa is in California, and
Yes, thank you. I
I
appreciate
let her
the
sleep in. I let her sleep in a little extra 30 minutes. I was like, "What's up? You sleepy or something?"
We all need rest, right? It's a
Oh,
key
we
to
do.
life.
We do.
So
We do.
thank you.
Absolutely. So they're chiming in. Hey, if you're out there, I see there's a few of you all that are chiming in right now. Go ahead and tell me who you are. Let me give you a little shout out on here, hanging with Dr. Cooper. Again, I see the thumbs up from somebody, but I don't know who you are. Tell me who you are. So let's get this party started. So we are today going to talk a little bit about something that is really just near and dear to my heart, which is and should be near and dear to everyone's heart, to be quite frankly, from my opinion, Lisa,
Yeah.
is this whole idea of spirituality and meditation. There's so much, as we know right now, going on in our world, and certainly on the heels, we hope the heels of a pandemic, we have seen just a tremendous uptick, certainly in the healthcare professions, in depression, anxiety, and suicide, and just a number of things. This ripple in our universe right now
Yeah.
is pretty significant, and I will tell you, this is such an important topic because I don't think necessarily that it's all the negativity that's outside. Unfortunately, it's how we process it on the inside that really is what matters. And so with that, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And we have one of my favorite experts in this area, Lisa Taylor, who's the founder, CEO of the Hive Holistic, which is personal coaching, business coaching, and all things wellness. And Lisa, welcome. And tell us a
Thank
little bit
you.
about yourself. On Hanging with Dr. Cooper, we talk about who you are, whatever you
Yes.
want to tell us. We're not going to ask you anything crazy, although I do have an audience out there and
Yeah.
we ask questions, but we answer what we want to answer. It ain't about whatever, but it's all good. So
I welcome questions. Bring it. Bring it
tell
all.
us
Bring it
about
all.
Lisa Taylor. Who is Lisa and what's up with Lisa Taylor?
Thank you, Dr. Coop. It's so good to see you. So great to be here. I love your show.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for having me. So my name is Lisa Taylor, and my company, as he said, is the Hive Holistic, and we do coaching, healing, wellness for busy professionals, business owners, high-level executives. And I started this company actually as a marketing agency many years ago,
Mhm.
2012.
Okay.
And what happened is life came in and shook
Mhm.
things up for me in a really
Okay.
significant way.
Okay.
And so, in about 6 year span, so starting 2015, I had all the big life changes. I
Mhm.
got married. I moved across the state of California from the Bay Area down to Southern California. Not ready
Okay.
to move, by the way.
Okay.
I became a parent overnight after being in LA for about 6 months to
Mhm.
my niece.
Okay.
So my ex's niece, really, and she was very traumatized. She was very not well in every state, not up to speed in terms of her reading and writing, and so took that on. And for all the parents out there, you can understand how challenging that can be while you're running a business and being married and having a life. So that was just sprung upon me overnight. And through that experience, I recognized I started to find tools. I had to find tools to
Mhm.
stay in my zone because
Yeah.
I love my company. It's my baby, as some of you might relate to. And I wanted to keep that going. I had to make sure I was there for my clients. So I had to find tools to do that. And yoga has been always with me. I started my yoga practice in 2003. And so that's been a steady, consistent thing I will do. Sometimes I forget about it. Sometimes I go back.
Mhm.
that's how having a practice works. It evolves
Mhm.
with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so then I got really deep into meditation too because I felt it was a tool that I found that I could do anywhere in the world. I could stop and meditate. And
Got
it did everything for me. Just
it.
being able to clear my mind for those few breaths or few minutes was enough to get me through really challenging times.
Mhm.
Life continued. I ended up getting divorced, which is really, I was growing in one way, my ex was growing in another. And after that, I went on my own healing journey, which was a very spiritual journey.
Okay.
I've always been a spiritual person, but didn't recognize how important that is in my life. I
Mhm.
went to Bali, went to shaman school, discovered that I could heal myself, but also that I'm a healer as well through that experience. My mother, my grandmother, and on have been healers. So that was kind of awakened within me at that point in time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so after coming back from Bali 2019, I was like, my business is, I'm not into the marketing anymore. I've changed so much. I've got
Okay.
to reflect those changes in my business.
Mhm.
So thankfully my clients started to notice and they're like, what are you doing? You have all these crazy things happening in life, but you're somehow navigating it, with grace. I
Mhm.
said, well, I've started a daily practice. I actually became a yoga teacher. I've studied deep ancient techniques. I went really deep. I went into Reiki, I went into astrology, I went into tarot, I went into shamanism, and then I created a program for my clients where they can learn those techniques too,
Mhm.
meanwhile running their businesses.
Got it.
So we transitioned into the holistic wellness company that we are now, and it's been amazing because then the pandemic hit and we were ready for it.
Yeah, so you were already transformed into doing Zooms and
I was
virtual kind of,
ready.
yeah, virtual encounters. It's very interesting that you have used the word yoga and the word meditation um, kind of in a diametric way,
Mm,
but kind of tell us how they are actually, to some extent, from my understanding, are pretty much almost the same thing, but just
yeah.
in a different way of expression.
Totally. Yeah. So the yoga that I have studied, Kundalini yoga, is an ancient form of yoga. So thousands and thousands of years ago, there's many types of yoga, first and
Mhm.
foremost, right? What we see now today, at least in the United States and in America, it's a very physical based practice. It's all about the clothing.
Yoga shop, yoga
Right.
shop.
I mean, I love it too. Don't get me wrong. I love a good yoga outfit, but
Yeah.
it is the physical asana is in preparation for meditation.
Mhm.
Yoga means to yoke together the infinite with the finite, the physical with the spiritual.
Mhm.
So I learned all about that when I took this yoga teacher training, and that's where meditation started to really come to the forefront as an amazing tool,
Mhm.
coupled and kind of within yoga. Really, they're kind of one and the same, like you said.
Mhm.
Um, so a complete practice includes physical, includes spiritual, the meditative aspect. It can include mantra. We all have specific mantras that we work with for different things. And
Mhm.
then mudra, which is hand positioning, which can really tap into the energy of the universe.
Right.
So yeah, they absolutely go together.
Yeah. And this it's very interesting because, so much of our Western culture is a Christian based culture.
Absolutely.
And my son, who is really kind of beginning to really deepen his spiritual practice, is very much so into a lot of the various sort of just exploring all the various sort of tools that did you mention that
Great.
you have at your disposal to tap into whatever that energy, that inner energy really is.
Hmm.
And it's very fascinating to watch him because although he's been baptized in a Christian church and
Yep.
went to church and going through all those kind of ritual based things, I've encouraged him to really start to read and to expand his
Yeah.
reading and knowledge of even the Bible, because it's
Yeah.
very interesting when
It's
when
great.
you have this knowledge of something that is not just a bunch of words on a piece of paper.
Right.
The revelations in your mind at least for me, and I'm using personal, but I'm trying to explain this to a 21-year-old.
Right.
Relations become really tremendous. And so here's one thing that I will say, and just to this whole yoga meditation piece, in the Christian faith, pray without ceasing. Okay. That's, it's in the Bible. And so, but yet, and then of course, the Savior, iconic figure in the Bible is Jesus the Christ.
Right.
And I rarely, and I have yet to find, honestly, in the versions of the Bible that I have actually read, a reference to Jesus meditating.
There's
But
a whole,
but but
oh,
but when you start
okay.
to interpret it, don't stay with me for a second, Lisa.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
When you start to read it, and you think, well, Jesus went out to pray. You got all these various references to what he was doing as he was reclaiming his time, and what he was doing with that time. And I just said, hey, you know what? I think Jesus was praying. I mean, and praying and
And
meditating.
meditating. Yeah.
Are they one and the same? Or are they different?
Absolutely, they're the same because
There you go.
what's the intention, right? What's the intention
Mhm.
of prayer and meditation? It's to surpass this physical existence,
Mhm.
to tap into your inner self, which is connected to the collective consciousness, the collective spirit.
Right.
And, I agree with you that we have this Christian lens on a lot of things in our culture, but once you're able to kind of see beyond that,
Mhm.
sometimes it takes a religion to get to that
Yeah.
place, but
Right.
then you recognize, wait, I am heavenly, I am divine, I can do this, I don't
Yeah.
need a religion or or,
Yeah.
or anyone, really. You don't need
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine who's kind of a theologian. Necessary, perhaps. Sufficient, no.
Yeah.
Uh, and so you've got to be able to understand and establish that connection. And another observation here in this last year and a half or so, with all of this negative energy that's out there, I see on social media so much catharsis of what I
Mm,
think, quite frankly, is a lot of anxiety, fear, stress.
yeah.
And I mean, and I have no problem with the TikTok. I think somebody told me the other day, you have a TikTok. I think I did try that a few couple of
I
years
did
ago. I
too.
was like, I'm trying to figure out this TikTok thing. Um, but
Hmm.
those are expressions, in that, although they are entertaining, and they are, but sometimes I see things there that make me think, this person is really saying something or expressing something, maybe not through spoken word,
Sure.
perhaps even through dance,
Yeah.
perhaps even through, I think some of the favorite ones I see are when people will articulate or use somebody else's voice, and then they're actually animating.
Right. Those are fun.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty interesting. But the message, if you really see through it and you try to connect with it, yeah, maybe entertaining, but oftentimes I see things there that really concern me about and I won't say mental health. I think that gets it, I don't know what that is for everybody. I know as a physician what diagnostically a lot of that means, but I think there's just something that's missing. I'm not criticizing that. What I'm saying though is I see sometimes things there that are expressions of a deep inner pain. And so talk
Mm,
about that a little bit, Lisa, in terms of how
sure.
we can use meditation and yoga,
Mhm.
to tap into that. And I'm just going to leave it there, tap into that, and then
Okay,
I'll
beautiful.
break it down a little bit more, based on
Yeah.
your response.
Okay. And I noticed Sharonda said she was born and raised in a Pentecostal church and was warned against these practices, and yet I find purpose and peace in yoga and
Oh
meditation,
yeah,
which kind of
great
is
question,
it
Rhonda.
yeah, it's a
Thank you.
great thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that because I think a lot of people feel that way. And I too was born in a Christian family. I was baptized. Um, I think there's a lot of value actually in Christianity because it showed me ritual and having reverence for certain markers in time. And I think ritual is actually an incredible thing that we have forgotten. If we look back to indigenous cultures that had the medicine people, there was rituals for every stage, and that marked time, it marked transitions, it allowed everyone to gather and to kind of express or cry or be happy together. So I think the ritual element of a religion is so powerful. Um, so that's something we can take with us, right? As far as the inner practice, so I agree with you. What you see on social media is very outward. It's very directed at the collective or things outside of me. I'm not in control, but I think it's a total it's a sham. We all have control of ourselves, and it's easy to get distracted. It's easy for things to take over, and we seem like we don't have control. However, if you are aligned within yourself, which is a really hard thing to do, especially if you're fearful of something, if you know someone that's had COVID, if you've had all these things coming your way, it's really difficult. So I empathize with people, but just know that it's about the inner work. And I think there's a fear of going there, to be honest with you. It's easier to just make a TikTok video.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easier to do a voiceover video than it is to examine the fear that's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a brave choice,
Mhm.
and it takes a little work, but in the end, you are stronger for it. That's
Mhm.
really the message.
Yeah, Lisa, what are we doing when we meditate? What's
What are we
actually
doing?
happening?
Oh, yeah.
What's happening?
So many amazing things. Oh my gosh. So one, the
That was not a
breath.
setup question, by the way. I thought you might have an answer, though.
So the breath, right? The breath is what it's involuntary to some extent, but it is voluntary. You can alter your breath, right? When you get stressed out, what happens? Your breath gets shorter, narrower.
Mhm.
So when we meditate, we're slowing everything down. And what happens on a science level in the body, when you get to a certain pace, cadence of breath, it's about 5 breaths in and out per minute. The brain, the blood, the heart, the nervous system all aligns. And that is where you can heal, because everything is in homeostasis, like perfect human body homeostasis. And so it allows us to just be. We're not in that place of doing, of acting, of accomplishing, which so many of us are accustomed to being in, right? Every single day. We have kids, we have work, we have this, we have that, we have lists. So if you're meditating, you're giving yourself kind of the balance of that activity. You get the passivity, which is giving your body a chance to rest, to recuperate, to regenerate itself. And it just activates so many different parts of the brain. Like there are studies now that show that if you meditate, you're activating the empathy centers of the brain. You can empathize better when you meditate. This is like public service when you meditate to humanity.
Mhm.
So that's just one example. I can go on and on.
Yeah. So let me pause for the cause there and just say, give all my shout outs.
Yes.
Everybody's kicking in this morning. I've been putting the names up on the screen because
I saw that.
I'm so locked into what you're saying. But you all are hanging with Dr. Cooper. I am live with my good friend Lisa Taylor, who is the founder, president, and CEO of the Hive Holistic Based.
You're just giving me more titles.
I'm gonna keep going.
President, CEO,
teacher,
founder,
coach, healer.
Keep going. I love it. Meditator.
Yeah, all of the above. So, yeah, and here's one question. We're going to get to this question here in a moment.
Lots of questions. I love the questions
from Allison Wynn. But here's the deal. Lisa. Let me ask you this question. But I keep thinking. I want to stop thinking.
I know. Don't worry about that. Honestly, that's not the practice is. It's a practice, number one. It's always going to be different every single day for you, because guess what? You're a human and life is bringing you different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's about showing up for yourself by doing this activity and doing this practice. So taking someone asked about time of day. I think morning, when you just wake up before you get distracted and pulled in 10 directions, is the best time of day. If you can do that, wake up, create a beautiful space for yourself, make your tea, make your coffee, and sit and breathe, even just for 5 minutes. And one tool that I use with clients is just follow the breath. So here, let's do it. Can we do it together?
Sure, let's go ahead. Let's go
Let's
for
do
it.
it. Okay, so get comfortable
Y'all
in your
lock in. Y'all
seat.
lock in now. Here we go. Should I close my eyes?
If you're comfortable, you can close
Okay, there's
your
nobody in here in this
eyes.
apartment with me. Hopefully they don't slap. Somebody walk up and slap. Wake up, Coop. I'm by myself.
What are you doing? I know. Don't fall asleep.
All right, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it, Lisa.
So
Go
just
for it.
close your eyes, roll
All
your
right.
shoulders back a couple times, just let go of any
Mhm.
tension. And now we're going to breathe in through our nose and exhale through the nose. Breathing in, inflating your belly. Slow exhale through the nose. Inhale, inflate the belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, expanding. Exhale slowly. Very good. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes or you can stay in this beautiful space. So we just did 5 breaths. How did that feel?
Great. Fantastic.
Easy breezy, right?
Yeah. Now, so let me ask you this. I do want to ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's been, certainly during COVID, and to Allison's question,
Mm-hmm.
there is she's asking for a tool to refocus when practicing our prana, but there's certainly during COVID, there's actually some pretty good scientific evidence out there for this technique of box breathing.
That's a great tool.
Yeah, where you breathe 4, 3, 2, 1, hold at
Mm-hmm.
peak breath, 2, 3, 1, exhale through your mouth,
3.
2,
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, hold at complete expiration. Repeat the
Yes.
cycle. Talk about that a little bit.
There's so many ways to do breath. I'm putting in quotes because it's really just breathing. There's
Right.
so many ways to do breath work, and your body will tell you what it wants. So listen to your
Mhm.
body if you can.
Got it.
So that box breathing is fantastic because if Allison, you need something to focus on, you can use your fingers to count. You can use the breath to count, and it kind of distracts you.
Yes.
Right. And
I'm
then
so glad you said that because I was getting. I'm gonna let you finish and then I'm gonna come
yeah.
back to that. Okay.
No, and then yes, I was just going to mention a mantra. Mantras are anything, any phrase that is powerful for you. So you can say, peace, love, harmony with your breath work. You make this up. This is for you guys. This is the beauty of it. You get to work with what makes sense for you.
Right.
So today, this week, I'm working on, maybe it's like wealth. I want to generate money. You can use that as a mantra. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am a generator. And you say it to yourself, absolutely, as you're breathing. And it's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah. So back to my question earlier, and I
Yes.
love it.
Thank you for
I
circling
love
back.
being the host and then having some idea about what I'm doing here. But I want to stop. I told you, Lisa, I want to stop thinking. And
I
so
know.
my point, and you just, I mean, it was so natural. The point with the thinking is, and it's not about stopping thought. You can't do that. If I
Mm-mm.
tell you not to think about a pink elephant, what are you going to do? Paul Morris, my
Think
buddy.
about the pink elephant.
You're going to think about the pink elephant. My buddy Paul Morris, who's my coach,
Cool.
is on this morning, and he and I just finished up
Nice.
my coaching session. He's like, Cooper, just something you brought up. I'm going to tell you not to think about a pink elephant, and I started thinking about a pink elephant. But the idea, and I think one of the things, and back to the conversation I had with a friend, is, there's this misconception that the idea of meditation is about forgetting or letting or not thinking or having thoughts come through your head. That is a part of it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. It's not a problem. It's an opportunity. But the idea, and you tell me if you correct me if I'm wrong, is the idea of the breath, the idea of the mantra is that gives you that tool that you need, Allison, to focus. So you cannot necessarily focus on, oh, I got a meeting in 30 minutes, or I got to get my kid off to school, or, I got to deal with this issue, no, the mantra helps you stay in there. And so you're combining that
Yes.
as part and parcel of your practice. Am
Yeah.
I right, Lisa?
You're absolutely right. And this is
Yeah.
what I do. I tell my logical mind, because the logical mind, guess what? It's just doing its job. Its job is to flash up that to-do list. Logic, logic, logic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I say, logical mind, thank you. You can take a break right now, because it's always working for me, right? Like
Mhm.
23 hours a day, the logical mind is doing things. So thank you, logical mind. I'm now going to open up the other side of the other parts of me, the intuition, the creativity, the imagination, the connection to the divine. Those parts, I'm going to ask for them to be open up. And I do this silently to myself. So I
Mhm.
actually have this dialogue with myself to calm those parts of me where the thoughts are coming in. And if a thought still comes in, be be gentle with yourself, because again, it's just doing its job, and that's okay. And your practice is to be okay with those thoughts coming in. That's the
Mhm.
practice, is
Yeah. Yeah.
showing up when it gets hard, right? Because guess what? That's going to happen in life too,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It's just that
Absolutely.
reflection.
Yeah. So what if you've never, and I just find that, I used to do a lot of reading about, and most of the people who know me would say, Coop, you got a huge ego. Yeah, I do. I got a tremendous ego. And guess
We
what?
love
I
ego.
like it.
I love you.
I
I love it.
love it.
Good.
And, I used to think, and then, so people, oh, you've got this ego, as if that's a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
And then what I discovered about 10 years ago, the fact that you have that is a tremendous gift. Talk about that a little bit, Lisa. I'm
Sure.
hitting you with something that I
No,
didn't
I love
previously
it. It's
prep that,
perfect.
but I knew
It's
you were on
aligned.
point. We're going to be on point with it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's aligned, and here's why, because you're discovering all the parts of yourself. So you know, because you're also very advanced. So you're like, that's my ego voice coming in right now. And I
Right.
know what to do with that. I'm going to give it a job. Ego, you can put your ego to work. That's what I like to do. Like business stuff,
Yeah.
ego, come on, let's go. Let's go hammer out this social media post. Let's go talk about ourselves on LinkedIn, because guess what? That's how I want my ego to show up. Not in an authentic way. I will say that, in an authentic way. So ego is fantastic. It's, again, it's a part of us, right? Can't
Hmm.
get rid of it. We don't want to get rid of it. It's a part of
Hmm.
being human.
Yeah.
So just like we have that ego side, we also have the balance of it. We have our loving heart side. We have our spiritual sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
So learn to identify the ego voice first and foremost, which
Yeah.
can take some time, and then you can really put it to work.
Oh man, I love that. So I got a friend who's not on here, but I'm going to send her this YouTube video.
Oh, wonderful.
Who just tell me, oh, we always argue about, you got to kill that ego, Coop. You got to kill that ego. Why
Don't
would
kill
I
it.
kill
Oh.
myself? I'm not going to kill myself. Are you
And
kidding me?
well, let's also be honest. When
Yeah.
you suppress parts of you, guess it's like the pink elephant. You suppress it, guess what happens? It
Yeah.
comes back stronger. It's like,
Mm.
no, don't ignore me. I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
get healthy with your ego.
Yeah. I love that. I love it. So I think this is a good question. Dr. Hines is asking, hey, fall asleep after about 3
Oh,
breaths.
yes. Okay, a few tips for you, Dr. Hines. Number 1, when you meditate, be seated. Don't lie down. Don't lie on your bed. Pick a new place to sit. And
But don't sit
make
on a stool because you might fall off.
don't fall off. Support your body. And start slow. Start with
Yeah.
3
Mhm.
minutes. If after 3 minutes you're still awake, great. Next week, add 2 more minutes. I just say do a little bit at a time, and then you'll acclimate yourself to be in that space, because it is easy to kind of veer into sleep mode because your body gets so relaxed. I get that.
Yeah. Another thing I will say is early on, I used to have this, I had this, um, I think I had it. I was making a little bit of a mistake in doing meditation when I was actually tired.
Mm,
And so I think you're
that's a
absolutely
good
so
point
true.
too.
I think it was D or somebody in the chat earlier mentioned or asked about the proper time. I think the best time is in
Yeah,
the morning. In the
morning
morning
is the
when you're,
best.
and whatever it takes. There's nothing wrong with a little coffee to kind of get you
Yeah,
going, but you want
absolutely.
to be kind of in an upbeat mode when you go in, because if you go in tired, guess what? Your body's going to give you what you need. So if you're
Yeah,
falling asleep after 3 breaths, you're tired. You need
right.
rest. And so that's
100%.
That's what's going to happen. So now
Yeah.
the way I got to Lisa, and I'm gonna dig a little bit here now.
Ooh, let's dig. Let's dig.
The way I got to Lisa is through our mutual great friend, and who I would consider my spiritual teacher,
Yeah.
the beautiful soul that she is, Evelyn Paul.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
you all met, I understand, in Bali.
We did.
And so,
Yes.
I mean, we're going to get back. I'm going to diverge here a little bit
Yeah.
because I want to understand
Mhm.
the Bali experience and what did that do for you in terms of how you teach, coach, and train
Mm.
meditative practices now.
Oh my God. What didn't it do? It just was a life changer for me. But
Mhm,
so we met in Bali. We were in a class taking courses on shamanic healing,
mhm,
which is connecting to the spirit world to receive messages, answers, and healing. And it's a practice that has been around since humans have been on the planet. And so we learned these techniques, we practiced on each other, and she and I became great friends there. Um, and it's informed almost so many parts of my personal life that I had to reflect that, as I mentioned, in my business and share with others. But I guess specifically it gave me a picture and it gave me a language on connecting with the divine in a different way for very specific healing uh, tools. So I do these healings with my clients now too. And keep in mind, clients come to me typically with a business problem. And I reflect back to them like, guys, you are at the center of your business. You, the human, are at the center of your business. Your blocks, your internal things that are showing up for you, show up in your business, show up in your relationships, show up everywhere. So it's
mhm,
really important that we address and heal on that level for you to expand your business tenfold.
mhm,
So that's been a big revelation for me as a business owner myself and someone that's been, in the professional world. Just how taking care of your human self and your soul self shows up in every part of life.
mhm. So, what is it about Bali? Because
Oh,
Evelyn talks about, and Evelyn lived there for, I
she
think she was
did.
living there. I
Yeah.
mean, she's lived all over the world, but she talks about just this
The
energy.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so tell me about that a little bit.
So I'm sure some of these listeners know you go to certain places in the world and you
Mhm,
get there and you're physically there and you're like, wow, this feels different than any other place I've been, you
mhm,
know, because of the history, because of the culture, the people, etc. And Bali is one of these places where it's very connected to the non-visible world. And everyone there, the culture is so immersed in their own they have their own form of religion, I guess you could say, spirituality, where they praise both the light, so the gods of the light, but the gods of the dark. And you just see it in the culture. I mean, there's offerings on every street corner with little temples. So you can't help but connect with your own divine, sources when you're there.
mhm.
And it's such a pristine place. It's tropical, it's warm, it's everyone's very friendly. What else about Bali? I don't know. If has anyone been?
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
sure you
think.
guys have.
Yeah, so I'm sure we got these some pretty expensive folks on here. Some of them can go over there and stay. They may have a house there, but
Right.
anyway, I'm just kidding. But no, okay. So Lisa, so when we talk about, I think honestly, and then I sort of transitioned away from this idea of religiosity, I should say,
Mhm.
several years ago. I'm Methodist, Christian, yeah, faith, follow that faith. And but really, I think, and I think D or someone earlier in the conversation here talked about they were taught not to get into those quote
Yeah,
practices.
sure.
When the fact of the matter is that if you read with a third eye and a third ear, Most religious texts, and I've read the Bible. Let me tell you, some of them are really tough. I mean, the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, which is, the Hindu kind of, is very tough reading. So
Yeah, it
and some of
is.
those I have to get a translator. So like, what are they saying? And then what am I thinking about here? Even the Quran, reading but what you see, if you want to just take and then if you want to just take the Torah and
Mhm.
all of the religious texts of the major religions, and you sort of just you put them into an amalgamation and put them into a box. At the end of the day, you're looking at the same thing being expressed in a different manner.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Comment
Absolutely.
comment on that.
Well, the way I see all of those and other tools in the spiritual community, for example, is just another doorway to the divine. It's
Mm,
just culture put their mark on it by creating a very specific story or a religion so that everyone could feel like they belonged, and it was very when you create, a book or a symbol around something, people can gather around it, right?
mhm,
Like a
mhm,
cross. We can all identify now what that is because of the history and the religions behind it, and it unifies. So I get that. I get why you would do that.
mhm,
But it's really just a portal. Like yoga, it was a portal to the divine for me. Meditation's a portal to the divine. People
mhm,
that are Muslim have their text or their own ways of doing that. So
mhm, mhm,
to me, I think it's just a gateway and it's beautiful and there's a place for it.
mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm, mm. Yeah, I mean, the practices are, it's just it's really amazing to me to see that as much as we see in this digitized, commercialized world that we live in, that in fact, it is absolutely 199% true that all of that, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, Islam, or whatever, is 99% the same and probably about 1% in terms of how you execute on it.
Sure.
And that in lies where the difference is because
Sure, sure.
what I have learned, and I'm not sitting here to, this is not some kind of bandwagon thing, or or I'm trying to impress people, but I've read the Bible probably about 3 times or so in my lifetime,
Mhm.
from the first time as a very, very dogmatic religious text,
Mhm.
and then the second time more from a historical perspective, trying to
Yeah.
and I did that when I was in the Middle East, and serving in the army, trying to understand this whole conflict in the Middle East, the whole Iraq, Israel, Jordan, Egypt, all that, trying to understand the history of all of that. And then the
Mm.
third time I read it, I really read it from for the very first time in my life, and this has actually been within the last 3 to 4 years, from a truly spiritual perspective, not religion, not history, but spiritual. And let me just tell you, the revelations that would come through
Mm.
that. So you can get beyond,
Yeah.
okay, you can get beyond your barrier of what a man wrote, by connecting with your own inner self. It sounds kind of, tutti frutti, but let me just tell you something. If you really try it, don't be
Yeah.
afraid. Try it. Don't knock it till you try it. The revelations are impressive. And so I really I enjoy reading. I get books all over this apartment, on my house. I mean, most of them, some of them I don't even ever read. I'll just read 2 or 3 pages because there was something in there that made me buy it, and I wanted to kind of get back into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Uh,
Amazing.
Lisa, believe it or not, we have been at this for 40 minutes,
Amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
we've been at this for 40 minutes. We went live at about 10:40 my time here in Kansas City, and 8:40 your time in California, and then so it's about 11:20 right now. What I want to do, here in this remaining 20 minutes or so that we have, is
Mhm.
someone who is, and I'm just gonna keep it real for you. I'm just gonna keep it real for you. And this is the group of people that really I try to reach out and touch in very subtle ways.
Gotcha.
Let me just tell you something. A black man in America is a hard nut to crack. Let me just tell you. The ego is so powerful
Sure.
that I
Yeah.
can't get the brothers to open up and just, because and just release a little bit. Except for my preacher friends. Oh, I mean, it's amazing that even. I mean, my pastor is one of the smartest people I know, Kevin Muriel at
Amazing.
Cascade United. But you just know that this guy's connected on a whole different level. But just the
Sure.
average, the guys that play golf with, want to smoke a cigar on the 19th hole. This is for you too. Talk a little
For
bit about
everyone.
that. And I don't know. So I want to ask you a question. How many in your
Sure.
practice, do you have any men in your practice?
Mhm.
And how do you get to the guys?
Well, it's really, I love that you asked that question because it's a very it's of the moment, because I've been working with a lot more men recently. When I started my practice, I was working with mostly women, but men are coming forward in a really interesting way.
Okay.
There's a desire to explore something different, and what it looks like is like, okay, I've done all the things. I have had the great job, I've made a ton of money, I have the family, but I'm not satisfied. What's missing?
Mhm.
And so it looks like I need to connect in a different way. I need to be more emotionally intelligent or more spiritual or whatever. And so a lot of men are feeling that, which is amazing. It's an amazing place, and it's very vulnerable, and I very much commend all the men that are coming forward to say that.
Mhm.
And I am excited to work with men and support men through this, and just as you know, the work is about reconnecting to the inside.
Right.
And there's lots of ways to do that, but I
Yeah.
think meditation's a really easy, approachable way to
Mhm.
start, because you can
Okay.
do it whenever you want, wherever you want. It's free.
Mhm.
There's so many apps you can use now to have a meditative practice, but I think it's about doing something every single day. That I cannot express enough how having a daily practice is what makes the difference. As you know, we can do it once, fine, great, wonderful. You feel good for a day. But the benefits are cumulative.
Mhm.
Every day, showing up for yourself, because it's about fueling you. It comes back to you fueling yourself, taking care of yourself so that you can go and take care of your family, your clients, your work, everything else.
Mhm.
So I would say commit to a daily practice. It doesn't have to be meditation.
Mhm. All right. So let me ask you this, Lisa. Never done it before. How do we get started? What should we look at? I mean, you mentioned some apps,
Yeah,
and I'm so
apps are
and just
great.
think about the apps. And I love to see like the athletes who are like
Ah, right? LeBron is working with
LeBron.
Calm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is I guess he's an investor in that, and then the quarterback for the Arizona Murray. If you don't know if you ever noticed when he scores a touchdown, he gets down in a lotus position. Did you notice that?
No.
Yeah, he does.
But
I was like,
truth be told, I don't watch football.
well, you got to watch it from time. Okay, you
Now
got to.
I will. Now I
I
will.
was Arizona Cardinals quarterback, and
Now
just
I will. I'm
well,
motivated.
just check it out. When he scores a touchdown, he does that. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty interesting. And I just want to
He
ask him the question, where is that coming from? Um, but
Well, can I
but
can I actually piggyback on that? If it's
yes.
motivating, this is actually quite motivating. Every professional athlete has a daily practice.
Mm,
How do they get to be said Arizona Cardinal, like how do they get to that top level? It's
right.
by being focused. And how do you focus? Having a daily practice. I'm sure a lot of them meditate. I don't know 100, I can't name names or anything, but to be at that level, to be a professional, you have to work at something every single day, right?
Mhm,
There's
mhm.
no shortcut.
Yeah.
So these guys have a practice. You
Yeah.
better believe they have a practice.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain of that. And then so a couple years ago, I was listening to Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors basketball,
Hmm.
and I watch sports all the time. But I've never seen anybody can shoot the basketball. I mean, he did some stuff the other night. I was just like, this is beyond like human stuff here.
Imagine.
And so
Yeah, right?
I would love to just ask him, but he was in this interview, he kind of alluded to it. But
Yeah.
he didn't explicitly say it. But
Okay.
he just says, part of his practice is just sort of, he does a lot of visioning, and
Yeah.
which is very important. You can talk
Hmm.
about that in a minute if you want, but visioning and saying, okay, here's what's going to happen and I was like, this is pretty interesting. I would say this guy is deeper than what we see, and I think you bring up the point that
Always.
when you see high level and I think we can use athletics, that high level performance of any type. I mean, Tom
Mhm.
Brady, who's probably considered the greatest of all time quarterback, he has to be. I mean, in my opinion, 7 championships, 45 years old, still out there playing with 25-year-olds. Are you kidding me?
That doesn't happen without a specific
Exactly.
intention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that is extremely important. Want to just, want to ask a question is, okay, and I
Sure.
think this is a good question here. We got some, I know, I know Bobby Jones. I don't know if she's still on, but she's practicing mental health therapist. But
Great.
somebody asked this question. I think it's a really good question.
I see.
And
Mhm.
and yeah, talk a little bit about that intriguing question. LinkedIn user who's not identifying
Yeah.
themselves. It's okay, we appreciate that too.
Yeah, we'll answer it. How
Yeah.
does meditation differ from hypnosis? So hypnosis is intentionally, so they both have intention. We'll start there. They both have a very specific reason for existing. For example, hypnosis is like, I want to move on from this past trauma. So I know people that have been hypnotized because they have test taking fear. So, like, it's a very specific intention. Meditation, similar. My intention is to create peace in my day. My intention is to be more focused. How it's different is meditation, you're in control. You decide this morning
Mm,
I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes.
mm.
Hypnosis is you, I mean, I guess you could hypnotize yourself, but you'd have to be very advanced to do that. More often than not, you're going to a professional and you're saying, flip the switch for me.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the difference, is like it's a level of control, I would say.
Got it. Got it. All right, Lisa, in this final few minutes we got, I don't have a practice. I want to get started. Tell me where to start. Forget the apps. I want to start meditating.
Okay, great.
Tell me what should
Um,
I do?
I would make a commitment.
Okay.
Write it down.
Mm,
For the next 40 days, I'm going to meditate at 9 a.m., let's say 8 a.m., for 5 minutes. And then I would get an accountability partner. So call your wife, call your best friend and say, look, I'm starting this practice and I want to be successful. And can I use you as my accountability partner? Do you want to do it with me? Or can I text you every time I do it? And if I don't text you, you send me a reminder. That's what will set you up for success. And do it, make a goal that's really easy to hit for yourself. Is
okay.
meditation non-Christian? Absolutely. It's spirituality. It's less about a religion, because religion is a very specific thing. Spirituality includes religion. So
Right.
it's beyond kind of an organization.
That's my good friend,
Great
and
question.
that's my good friend and classmate from business school, Henry
Oh,
Jimenez
wonderful.
Menza, my Ghanaian brother. How you doing, man?
Nice.
Okay, good. So we got make a commitment. We got write it down.
Yep.
We
Set
got
reasonable goal.
set a reasonable goal, and get an accountability partner. Four very,
Yeah.
very specific steps. Okay,
Very easy. Very
done.
easy.
I've done all that. How do I get
Okay.
started? What do I do next?
Do it. Show up for
That is
yourself.
a close. That is a closed-ended question. Okay, good. So give
But
me
but
some.
also but also let's step back. Okay,
Okay,
high level. What is this going to do for me?
got it.
Why are
Okay,
you doing this? What's the vision? What's the vision?
got it. Okay, okay, got it.
And then those days when you're like, I don't want to do it, you go back to your vision. I want to have a life where I am not frantic every single day,
Mhm,
frantically trying to get things done, angry at my kids, mean to my wife. I don't want to be that person anymore.
mhm.
How
Yeah,
do I eliminate that?
right.
Oh, I have a vision of a peaceful self of me that is gliding through life and soaring and flying because everything is with ease.
Got it. Okay, got it. All right. So we have set. We've made a commitment. We've set a reasonable goal. We've got our accountability partner now. We understand the context and the why, if you will.
The
Okay.
why, the
All
vision.
right. How do we do it?
Set a timer, 5 minutes, wake up and go.
Okay. Good.
Just show up every day. Just show up.
Yeah.
Every day is going to be
Mhm.
different. Accept that. It's okay.
Mhm.
Today I'm distracted. That's fine. Tomorrow
Okay.
I'm not. Okay, great. It's
Got it.
all it's about showing up.
Yeah. But these
Yeah.
thoughts keep going through my head, Lisa.
That's okay. Great. Thanks,
Okay.
thoughts. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Come
Good.
and go. Float away. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. Good. All right, Lisa. So now hey, I'm doing pretty well. 15 minutes. I'm
Great.
locked in.
Keep going.
Okay.
Don't stop. Don't stop. That's where
Mhm.
people stop. They're like, "Oh, I feel great. I felt great for a week. I'm cured." It's not a pill. It's a
Okay.
practice. It's an
Yeah.
every single day showing up for yourself.
Okay. So now I look back, Lisa. I said, I realized what this is going to do for me. My day is a lot more less chaotic and frantic. I'm showing up in a different with a different persona. I
Mhm.
am less judgmental. My relationship with my wife, significant other, and kids is improved. I'm addicted. I want more.
Beautiful. This is the best addiction to have. So you can add to the practice, right? You can start to explore other things that go with meditation. Journaling is a great partner to meditation. After you
Mhm.
come out of the meditation, oftentimes you get messages, downloads, etc. Write them down. Um, you can add yoga. You can add some physical movement in addition to a mantra. um there are so many things you can do. You can add I said music already, but you can add music as a different part of your meditation, so you can play a track that helps you with the meditation.
Mhm.
You can dance. You can add dancing to the end of your meditation. That's a really fun one to move the body.
Mhm.
um, Gosh, there's so many ways that you connect with yourself. Some people use sports as that, like running,
Mhm.
basketball can be
Mhm.
meditative too.
Got it.
So,
Got it. All
yeah.
right, I've cleaned my life up. I'm deep into this now. Everything is clicking on all cylinders.
Mhm.
Uh, Kind of fall off a little bit.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you get back on? Get back on.
Okay.
You skip a day. If you're at this point too, if you've done
Mhm.
at least 40 days, the
Okay.
brain has registered a new pathway.
Mhm.
Great. And then you might get to the point at about 60 days where you're like, "Oh, I missed a day. Why do I feel so off?
Mm.
What happened today?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't have a practice today." And
Mhm.
that's when you're like, "Okay,
Mhm.
we're
Got it.
going."
All right. What is it about this 40 days?
40 days. It takes 40 days to make a pattern. Everyone says, 2 weeks, a month. No, it's 40 days and the brain will create a new pathway.
Mm.
So it'll start to register, it'll start to really sink in for you, and your behavior becomes more automated.
Mhm. Those of
Yeah.
us in the Christian faith know that there's also another meaning to that
Right?
40 days. Yeah.
Yeah,
It,
came
it's
from the
it's
ancients.
so when you go, and so you said the ancients, the Christians will recognize the 40 days in the wilderness that Jesus was, out there being tempted and tested.
Right?
And so when I go back to when I said I've read the Bible from the religious perspective, the historical perspective, and the spiritual, that was not revealed to me until I read it from a spiritual perspective. But I did there was a
Oh,
comparative reading there
I
because I'd
see.
actually seen this in some other texts, and I was like, this is very interesting. But then, not only that, science has actually validated what you just said about changes, plasticity changes in the brain
Yeah.
from having a daily meditative practice. And it takes about, guess what, 40
40
days. They can
days.
actually see that on an MRI.
Yeah, so so it's ancient wisdom, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. Let's get one more question in here. Uh,
Social media. Oh, absolutely. Can I share my IG with you guys?
Yeah. Hey, Jerome, thank you for that. Because here's what we're getting ready to do. We're going to let Lisa, we're going to close it out. But what we'll do is we're going to let Lisa give you all of her contact, how to connect with her. And she actually does this live on IG. Isn't that
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
led a
so,
bunch of meditation groups all throughout 2020,
yeah.
and I have some more groups coming up in the new year. So I'd love to see you there.
Great. So Lisa, go ahead and put your stuff in the Lisa, where'd you go? Did you log out? What? Lisa, you left. She hit the wrong button. Or did we? Oh, I had to end it. Oh, what? No, Lisa. Lisa, you what
I'm
you
back.
do?
I'm back. I'm back.
You hit the
I
wrong
I
button.
clicked the wrong button is what I did. I was
No,
like,
no,
let
no.
me share.
All
Oops.
right, go ahead and
Sorry.
put your stuff. Go ahead and put your stuff because it's going to kick us out here in about 5
Okay.
minutes. Go ahead and put so your IG connection, all of the connections, your email, however you want people to contact
I'll
you.
give you everything. Give me one.
Okay.
If I hopefully I click the right button this time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Chat. Okay, I'm sending. Are you seeing this? Because it says private chat.
You know what? Yeah, that's coming to me. So
I don't think
probably
I'm able to send it to the group, so maybe you can forward it along. And I also wanted to mention on my website I have 2 meditations that you can use, and they're both under 10 minutes, and they're amazing. And that's called the Achieve Balance Challenge. I'm going to share that with you, Coop, and maybe you can share it with everybody.
okay. Look, okay, yeah. You know what? It's in the private chat, and that's between you and I.
Yeah,
And what
you've
I'm
got to
doing is
forward
I'm
it.
going to copy all the links.
Thank you.
And
Sorry.
no, no, it's okay. It's okay. No, I just didn't. I'm still learning this thing, but this is a really good platform.
It's
Lisa, it's not
great.
very expensive. You may want to do this one because if, to get everybody,
Yeah, to do
because
live meditations. That's a good idea.
yeah, I realized that people were, oh, whoa, wrong place. Didn't want to go there. Yeah. The, because people really have their preferences in terms of where they connect with you.
Sure.
So,
So
and
now you can do it all.
yeah. And it's an interesting thing. It's a lot of my older people who follow me, they actually like YouTube. I thought that was very interesting.
That's really cool.
Coop,
I love
I'm watching
YouTube.
you, man. I like to watch this I like to do this on the YouTube. I was like, okay. So, and that's where we started out. Okay, good. So,
One more. Here's my YouTube channel.
okay.
Okay,
I think,
done.
okay.
Done. My God, how many?
There's,
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
there's a little
Okay,
bit of
please
a little bit
follow
of
me.
okay.
Thanks for being here, everyone, and your questions were amazing. If
Okay.
you have more, please reach out on any of these channels.
Okay, good. Lisa, so I think I got everything locked in there, and this will all be on the comment
1, 2,
section.
3, 4, 5. Perfect.
Everybody. So Jerome and everybody who asked those great questions, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Hey,
you.
Lisa, hey, let's, I think there's no better way to end a session like this than for you to maybe guide our audience and me through maybe a 5-minute little closeout session. What do you think?
Okay,
We
I
did
would
some
love to.
breathing earlier, and so
Right? Let's
now we're
just
going to do a little
check
bit.
it off.
Let me lower my lights and everything. Let me get my mood set.
Get your mood set.
Yeah, let's get the
All
mood
right,
set here. Yeah. So let's.
everyone. So just come to a comfortable seat wherever you are. Let's stay seated instead of lying down. And let's just take a minute to roll the shoulders a few times, releasing any tension. And let's check in with the spine. So, from where you're seated, spine is lifted, chest is lifted. Check in with the back of your neck. This is where we get a little crunchy here. So, just tuck the chin slightly, extending the back of the neck. Top of the head reaches up. Just take an inhale through your nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale, inflating your belly. Exhale slowly. Inhale, inflate the belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest and ribs and belly. Inhale, expanding. Exhale slowly. And continue breathing just like this. Deep inhales. Slow exhale. Just allow the body to soften. Allow everything to slow down. If there are thoughts coming in, just letting them be present and let them float away like clouds in the sky. You can always refocus back on your breath. Tell yourself, I am breathing in on the inhale. I am breathing out on the exhale. And I want you to take a moment to set an intention for your day. This could be something you would like more of. More peace, more flow, more ease, more love. Or it could be something you'd like to embody today. I am abundant. I am graceful. Just take a moment to set an intention now. On your next inhale, breathe in that intention. This time, open mouth, exhale. Let's do that again. Breathe in that intention to every cell of your body. Open your mouth to exhale. One last time. Deepest inhale yet. Breathe it in. Open mouth, exhale. Very good. Pausing here for a few breaths. Just knowing and trusting in your ability to set the course and the direction of your day. Now you can just let it go and trust that you will have an amazing day and be open to surprises in this beautiful intention setting. When you're ready, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Rotate the wrists, rotate the ankles, stretch and move in any way that feels good for the body. And when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. Hello.
And we are back and we are done.
Woohoo.
Lisa, thank you so much. Everybody's got
Thank
your
you.
contact, and I know they'll be reaching out. They always do. So
Can't wait. Can't
thank
wait,
you,
guys.
everybody. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't do a lot of my shout outs today because I got kind of, as those of you who know me know, I'm kind of, this is my stuff. I really love this topic, and I'm really into meditation.
Yay.
Yeah, I don't even like to think about it in terms of time, but there's nothing for me to be gone for about an hour, and it feels like it was 5 minutes. So, and it's fantastic, Lisa. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I think this is a great time for us to do this. I've just put my wife put up there, Sandy. Wonderful. Hey, thank you.
Thanks for being here. Great to have you.
And so we are. This is a great time of year to do this because it's right before this is getting ready to get chaotic with the holiday season and everything that's going on right now. I think this is a fantastic time. We're going to have the downside of this after the new year. So maybe we'll come back, Lisa, you and I, and just do a session, do a nice long session together. That'd be fantastic.
Ooh, yeah. I would love to do that. I would love it.
And just maybe one of these days we'll get our good friend Evelyn to come and join us.
Maybe.
She's not the out front kind of person. She doesn't even. Yeah. She's gonna kill me if she heard it, if I even mention her name.
Right, I know.
but it's all good though. Hey, well Lisa,
thank
you so much. We're going to end the broadcast right here. Lisa, stay with me for just a moment. Everybody, thank you. Have a fantastic Sunday.
Everyone. Happy
go
Sunday.
Go Chiefs, go Falcons, go everybody, whoever.
Go you.